Now, do you think towns, cities and towns could combine insofar as insurance costs, school costs, purchasing?
Well, there is regionalization. You know, there are costs there. I believe there's certain things we could do, but you really have to come to grips with it. You know, the challenge is always, Rich, is like Swansea, Somerset, Fall River. We all have our own identity.
They all want to be autonomous.
Yeah, and it's
little fiefdoms.
Right. Right.
But sometimes not for the benefit of the people and the voters. And I think the voters, as you well know, are a little angry about the excessive spending of money, money that is not available during bad times. And I think they want to see some change, not only in the people who are in office, but in the mechanism, the way that things are governed, or the way they're governed, more of a business approach.
You have to take you're going to have to take a business approach on certain things. Number one with me is that you don't give up public safety, and and that's one of the things. I know a lot of the guys in the unions, and I know that I've had discussions with them. They say, well, the LNG, for instance, is going to bring jobs. So let's talk about that for a minute. It's going to bring 300 jobs for 3 years. Then after that, probably 40 jobs. That's it. I know what it takes to run a plant after that. But I cannot sacrifice public safety and I have a fiduciary responsibility to even Fall River and the coast from Newport up, that not to put people in jeopardy. And it really bothers me. Look, I come from the industry. You would think I'd be all in favor of that. What we need to do, if we want to develop this area, it is critical. We've been talking about it now long before I come to this area, that we needed to get the train in here. If we were to get the train, it's been 25 years they've been talking about this. If we were to get the train, this area would boom. Not only that, you could connect it further down in the Rhode Island, would bring people into Fall River. This is a center. We all travel through here to get to the Cape or any place we go. That's one thing. They're talking about casinos. Somebody asked me today, a reporter asked me today, what do you think? I said, well, let me ask you something. Where's the money going now? It's going to Connecticut. Why wouldn't we keep it here?
Well, I think people, Lorne, say and have said for a long time that this area needs to attract industry.
Absolutely. And
it's fine to have the train come down. It's fine to have gambling. But gambling doesn't create anything. It's not an industry. Jobs are usually low-paying. What is Lorne Lawless, as a senator, going to be thinking about as far as actual physical plants, industry where people can get up in the morning and go to a good-paying job?
Well, what it comes down to is retraining. If there's biotech jobs out there, but in order to do that, you have to have a team of people that are willing. That are willing. First of all, Rich, if we knew the train was coming in here, the area would boom, because number one, a lot of people that live in Boston would live here right now, because the cost of living here is a lot. We'd have a lot more tax dollars coming into this town. But we would end up, what I would do is work with Will Flanagan, or whoever the mayor is at the time. I really believe that you've got to have the delegation. I don't care if I have to get on a plane and go somewhere and talk to whatever company to try to bring them in here. And I think Mayor Flanagan when I've talked to him, has the same idea. This is what we have to do. Now, first of all, we got to somehow create jobs. For instance, I know
we have the Fall River Office of Economic Development. We have the Redevelopment Authority. Mm-hmm. You were at the City Council meeting last night in the city of Fall River. Someone, I believe it was during citizen input time, mentioned that there were 3 real derelict buildings in a Corky Row section of the city, and they're owned by the Redevelopment Authority. They've been here, it was said last night, 15 or 20 years. Is there something wrong with the system here?
Well, the problem you have there is very. We just put in an ordinance in our town. It's a bylaw in our town on buildings that are within 30 days. If they've been vacant, they have to register with the town. There's a fee for that, and you do have that in Fall River, by the way. And we can go in if we condemn, as the Board of Health, if we condemned that building should come down. I mean, if it's been there for 22 years, we should knock it down, Rich. I mean, I don't care what you do with it, but you should knock it down, because number one, it puts our police in risk, because there's kids I'm sure going in there, and it also puts the firemen at risk. So you got an old building that's been there not looked after, and now it catches fire. Now we're putting them at risk. And we made in our town, we made it so that I asked our police chief and those on patrol to give us a list of all those buildings. We have a list in the assessor's department just to make sure which are our trouble ones. So we're really watching that. And the money that's coming in now, the fees that are coming in, starting to add up. And we had to go to town meeting, get a line item to put that money in there to, for instance, how would you like to have a building next to you that the grass is this high and there's trash all over the place? Now, with this money, what we would do is hire a firm, go in, clean it up, and then we would attach it to that property. So if they went to sell that piece of land, or if the building we've looked at it, if the building does get dilapidated, we can take the building down.
I attended Mill Owners Association meeting about 6 weeks ago or so, and a couple of curious comments, discussions took place. One was that the mill owners in the city of Fall River have 10 million square feet that are vacant. They can't get anybody into these buildings. Industry doesn't want to come in, or other people. 10 million square feet. They basically lamented the fact that a lot of the new businesses that come into the city, or some businesses that want to expand, are being lured to the industrial park, leaving the city of Fall River to fend for itself, so to speak. Now, the other thing they said was that the banks will not loan them any money. So if they want to borrow $500,000 to do something to the building, what they were saying is that they can't get the money. The bank's just not either in a position to loan or do not care to loan. Now, you say the train will come in and jobs will be created. How do you mix these reconcile?
Jobs will be created, and I believe it would economically develop Fall River. Fall River is very similar to St. John, New Brunswick. It is, as far as the waterfront, and they've done some things in St. John. But the interesting part, when we look back at the stimulus package, and I think there's still some money there, my view on that was that they took the money, and we needed stimulus money, but I think, or we would have really had a real bad financial crash. But they took the money and they put it into horizontal projects. Horizontal project is what I mean is by roads and bridges.
And a lot of sidewalks.
A lot of sidewalks, but it doesn't create a lot of jobs. I'll tell you who it benefits. You know who it benefits?
Well, the people who make cement made a bundle ago.
But you know who it also does? The oil companies.
Now, we're
getting
getting
because of the asphalt.
Close to the end of the program, and there's one thing that I want to bring up, and I